Hi everybody, Dr. Stu here today to answer your questions. Today's question actually comes from multiple people. We've gotten a lot of questions asking about ventilators and why are they hearing so much about ventilators in the news and what's the problem with ventilators. So here's the story with ventilators. A ventilator is a machine that pushes air into your lungs when you can't breathe properly. So what you've seen probably in movies is when somebody is really having a very hard time breathing, they put a breathing tube down your throat and they hook it to a machine that breathes for you. One of the problems with people that get very sick with COVID-19 is that they actually need ventilator support. They can't breathe enough to keep their oxygen levels high enough to keep them alive. Now, the problem with COVID-19 is that it keeps people on ventilators for a really long time, like sometimes well over a week, 10 days, and longer. People can require ventilator support while their lungs are healing. So that's why you're hearing so much about ventilators. There's a shortage of them. It's not really there's a shortage of them, but they're very expensive machines. So in normal times, there is enough ventilators in the hospital for everybody that needs one. But now that we have such a large number of people that are getting sick and need ventilator support, that's why we have a shortage now. We don't have enough ventilators to meet the expected demand. That's why we've been trying to flatten the curve, which you've heard about, which is slow down the spread and give us more time. Instead of having a peak curve with a large number of people, we spread it out, and that gives us more time and less large numbers of people so that we can use the ventilators on everybody that needs one. So somebody asked us also, or asked me, what happens if we run out of ventilators? And it's a problem because the machines cycle, every time, many times a minute. Many times a minute to keep you normal, right? So you're breathing 10 times a minute or 12 or 15 times a minute, right? That's what we normally do. So what do we do if we don't have a ventilator? This takes the place of a ventilator. This is called a bag valve mask. It has a bag, a valve, and a mask. Now, sometimes if you have a breathing tube in you, this mask comes off and this part attaches to the breathing tube. And what this bag does is you squeeze the bag and it puts air into somebody's lungs. So this is what we use when we don't have a ventilator. We use a bag valve mask. But the problem with the bag valve mask is somebody has to squeeze the bag. And somebody has to squeeze the bag many times every minute so that the person keeps their oxygen going. And that's the problem. We need the ventilators to do this automatically because it would be very hard to expect people to sit there and squeeze the bag multiple times every minute. So that's the problem with ventilators. Thanks for everybody who asked that question. It's a great question. If you have a question, go to our website, drstu.org, and send it in, and I'll be happy to answer it. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.